team's good on Mirage, Michael. Big on Mirage, we're looking stellar. Be it Crimbo being able to get off to, a couple of positional interchanges with Tapson, be it Tapson just looking great all across, or be it the main man for Mirage, Hyped, who was absolutely phenomenal on that CT side. Big looked very confident on this map.
Yeah, we're going to have to just see which version of Heroic we get, and whether or not we're going to see that heavy-hitting firepower that JDC, Hyped, and Crimbo can sometimes provide, because in the game that we caught yesterday of Crimbo, he actually had a bit of an off day, if in all honesty, but he picked it back up for the second game that they played within that lower bracket. Whereas, like we were saying earlier, there's a few members that we're looking to on this Heroic roster. Hell, even LNZ can have maps where he's finding a whole load of kills. But a very slow start to this pistol here by Heroic. Starting T-side, first map in this series on Mirage. Some pies have that P250. They've got one set of a smoke and a flash that they posture up for a B-side attack with. And if they go soon, they'd be able to beat this timing. The rotates from Big are starting to lean back towards B, and a top con smoke may actually keep them busy a little while longer.
xCloud is trying to keep the players nearby with the jungle duel that he's taking over here. He gives out info that he's climbing up, but still rotations will be in place. And Pius for now just trying to keep away QB, but QB's already come through with a single kill. The bomb can go down, but it's a 5 versus 4. Let's not forget. Exactly. Sun Pius finds Tapson. Tanir gets himself another one. JDC caught off by Tanir, and Youngster is not even given the chance to be able to find him. So despite losing out that early man in the form of xCloud, it is indeed still just Crimbo alone, not QB on short. Sorry, Ks and Ks can be confusing for me.
I mean, a really well orchestrated pistol. Very slow, steady, but they gather information by the absence of Big. Some Pius is still holding for the top mid swing. You have xCloud that runs in, I think, via the underpass, straight through to connector, smokes off, and just basically is running interference while the rest of the squad are ready to pounce on that B bomb site. And just by showing that extra presence, the rotate is slightly delayed. QB, sure, he gets his one kill, but he maintains position on short, but doesn't actually have a foothold on the site proper. And then Heroic are just able to play from that post plan and swing together to take those fights into market. So it feels rather simple once Heroic are on that bomb site, but there were elements in there that made it very unpredictable for Big. Snapping into a force buy.
Had some good scout shots yesterday.
Yeah. Well, Hyped hits a lot of shots, in fact.
I think Tapson also came through with one or two big good ones. On Dust 2, if I remember correctly. xCloud, though, has been tagged up, and that's already one of those good shots you're worried about. It does start to get slightly worrying when you look at how many CTs are ready to try and collapse in, but with Hype rotating away from jungle, JDC maybe even doing some of the same, this is going to be a bit less pressure under the connector. Come up, JDC spots him out. This is smoke that likely might be pushed, but xCloud's already low, so he doesn't really dare to do it. Remember, he's the one with the Mach 10. LNZ is a little bit further behind as the man holding on to the second SMG.
The fact that they've got that smoke down at ramp does really slow the roll here for Heroic. Smoke top side of connector. They've been blocked off in pursuing the A bomb site.
No.
And xCloud just not managing the edge of that smoke. It fades in front of him, and JDC gets a clean kill. And they're just repositioning, setting up for an A-side attack. Had they had some connector pressure, it might have alleviated some strain. But bigger not to know that all the attack is coming from the front.
The read might be wrong there, expecting this to be similar to just around where xCloud was all alone and LNZ can overrun QB because of it. Hyped is going to be too late to actually add anything, so it all comes down to JDC and what he can find with his deagle. The good thing is that there aren't smokes to cross and the time is low, so JDC has a chance, and so does Crimbo. As he starts to make his way over, will he find the planter? No, he's taken down. Rather, he's pushed away, not taken down. Bomb is planted, LNZ all alone. He's still trying to fight away. There's too many angles to deal with. Almost lines them up, but catches the center. Instead, Big find the round they need.
Yeah, and this is part of the problem with the way that round plays out, is that xCloud can't provide any additional sight lines. They can't clear that site any faster than they did. There's still hesitation. They didn't have the utility to flush out under balk. They can't clear out default. So they're stutter stepping. The last thing they want to do is have linear pathing right into a deagle or a scout, and all that extra hesitation when there is no smokes and there's low time is... It just allows Big to re-rotate back into that bomb site. Just imagine a world where xCloud's allowed to stay alive for a few seconds longer while his teammates are in position at ramp, and the round can change very quickly. A counter buy here from Heroic. AK for some pious. Tanier with the scout. So, role reversal perhaps.
Decent damage coming out onto Hyped. He's going to be forced away. We can already see the re-navigation back to try and boost Crimbo up, get a sightline out into middle. It'll be what assists JDC in keeping control over connector. If they can have an eye out in case anyone wants to start moving over. Tanier also will need to be careful. Now, this boost could be interesting. xCloud, given space, but it will be watched out for. JDC's neglected connector position told Kyubi to take care of that as well as A main. No one inside A main right now, but watch out for Youngster. What is he up to? He's inside connector, waiting for the smoke to dissipate. And with another smoke back to jungle, this will be the time for him to strike, but he's already lost his teammate. xCloud falls to JDC, and Tapson's rotation comes back in. Kyubi taken down by Sanpias. Watch out for Hyped. Inside the smoke, he's able to pick up Youngster. Tanier just disjointed from the rest of the attack. He won't be relevant to the rest of this round unless he can find JDC, but he's been spotted out, and now the bomb on the back of Sanpias is all they have left to really try and fight into this round with Tanier on an island that he has no way of swimming out of. He'll find some blood, but at this point, it's worth even just dying.
Yeah, and he'll fall straight to JDC. Some great awareness there from JDC. He had a lot of responsibility, like you said, you know, having to manage between top connector, balancing that with the window angle and the potential of a boost. And he just commits to a duel in the end. He had a teammate rotating through murder, just decides to hard clear window, and it's just as Heroic were about to collapse on that A-bomb site. So had he waited longer, his teammate might have gotten cut down by the rotate had he prioritized the A-bomb site instead. So really nice stuff, but also we get to see a little glimpse of why Hype is kind of an exciting player and a new addition to this big roster, is that he makes, you know, these cheeky sort of cheese moves around smokes. He's willing to reposition quite fluidly, and already off to a pretty solid start. You know, he's 3-1, which is not anything to really note, I suppose. But early on to this game, you can see just the mechanics are already feeling like they're flowing well.
We saw very different Hype between maps yesterday, but I feel like against Heroic, after what they just did in Katowice, if there's one thing I can guarantee, it is his confidence.
Like did he has before on LAN.
And when I say I beat you, I really do mean I beat you. Fade spotted. Tapson's got it. This will not be a Glock train that goes anywhere. It is a model train. It's there for display, but if you try and run it, it falls over. Heroic are hoping to do more than just that, though, as they go into the next gun round.
Yeah, get out of the economic rut of, you know, win the pistol, lose the force buy, lose your own force buy. So now that we're on rifles, you know, it's unideal, obviously, that they don't have the AWP in Sanpias' hands, but there's neither one to fear on the other end. And really, I think both Hype and Sanpias really do their best work on CT, as you'd expect from an AWPer. But I want to see more range from Sanpias. Had a great opening game against 3D Max. And so just a little bit of a flash of what can be. Just need to get that on a more consistent metric. Otherwise, it is weird for me to think this, but I think Hyped actually might have more of an advantage when he's on that T side versus Sanpias.
Nade, Incendiary, and LNZ's position given over. Guess what? There's another one where that came from. Almost takes him down. And, well, you know what? Where there's two, there might as well be three. xCloud, in the meanwhile, had a spectacular round yesterday from a position not too different from where he is now, but this time decides not to make a go of things.
Really nice fight manipulation there from xCloud. Gets spotted crossing and then goes back the other way. Gets an advantage in his fight, but yeah, with, again, time is being ground down. Heroic have been sussed out in a couple of positions, but with that one smoke, they should be able to hazard the cross. So you have to worry about Crimbo inside the spawn, and he'll peek at the great timing. Traded by some Pious. There's access to this bomb site now, and time to plant.
Get one for free. No, he misses it. QB jiggles that one out, and with that, now it's a 3 versus 2. They can all start to funnel through connector. Remember, Youngster is going to be trying to get the flank out later on. Senpaius has got nowhere to go, but a lot of that offensive utility was used earlier on to flush out LMZ. Senpaius will have a chance with Youngster's distraction to start coming in. Swings out for the double, and it's perfectly done. Great 2v3 from Heroic to hold on to that bomb site.
Yeah, and perfect coordination between Youngster and Senpaius. Senpaius knew exactly what to do as soon as Youngster gets that kill on the flank. Just as that comm comes out, you see Big panicking a little bit, turning their heads, wondering whether Youngster's going to continue pressuring on that flank or not. And Senpaius is just able to line up 2 quick frags from the side itself. Small mechanical blunder there for xCloud. And they can maybe look behind, but Blind Smokes is hyped. And into flames, he'll continue to singe his feet down to 66. Cheeky from LNZ, just trying to catch a timing. But he'll take a straight up duel, and the nade will slow him down enough that he cannot run anywhere. 2 quick kills here for the big clan, but Tanir rather answering right back.
xCloud trying to find anything he can. The flashes are good, but he can't really chase past into, or rather in through the smoke. Right now, secondary smoke will be blocking them out. There's still ways to cross over, but remember, it's on a timing. Tabson is coming in from behind. A flashbang ready for Hype to throw out. It's going to be used for Tabson to peek. He's the #1 player to watch out for, but as the flash goes, it hasn't even popped so far. Tabson's popped through and leaves Heroic limping on 2. Senpaius and Tanir, barely any HP to work off of, but look out for Tanir. He's moved past, but no! Hype turns around, weary of the possibility leaves Senpaius alone. A double kill he found in the last round, but now it is 40 seconds to recede, and recede he does. Back over towards the B bomb site is his realistic destination. Big will stay together, perhaps. No, they will separate.
Again, these lengthy rotations, Hype loves to make them. And so he's ahead of this play. Senpaius is hoping that he can get access to a free bomb site, and that Big have slowed down and played this together. But Hype has that first line, and Senpaius will fall right into his scope. Another nice multi-kill here from Hype. Another great reposition. But it all came down to the flank from Tabson, just completely disrupting any chances of getting a plant or security on that A-bomb site. JDC is off to a ripper of a start.
Yeah.
Good presence of mind, hitting fast headshots.
And a good JDC is the scariest version of Big, because you know he's a man with a lot of secondary calling as well, with a lot of comms that he's likely making out. It just makes everyone look better. Goes through the smoke. Well, Kayubi was asking for it, and he only gets one. It's an MP9 stolen away, but unfortunately, Hype and Tabson are on the scene of the crime. Heroic left with Justin here, who's inside the bomb site, sure, but really nothing to do there.
Can't always expect to get mileage out of low buy rounds. Big doing well to at least keep their money in a decent position, but it could be damaged. It's not an infallible amount of cash. First tack used by Heroic. Again, I think we saw this at the start of the day when we were covering Heroic in this qualifier, and there was a few moments, especially in sort of late to mid rounds, where you figure, you know, the mechanics of some of these young players, how the mechanics of Senpaius, you know, some of it faltered. Some of the decision making felt a little bit off. We've seen some good synergy to start the rounds here for Heroic. We've seen the calling be quite elaborate as well already on this T side. Just making sure that everyone's still fully focused on the task at hand, not dwelling on some of those small mishaps.
Big effectively have 4 players on the same bomb side if you're including Tabson in it.
They've actually been starting fairly stack heavy.
Yeah.
I think there was a previous round where they had sort of 4 almost gravitated towards B. But Crimbo's seen enough information to know that his B bomb site is going to see some siege. He's already got hype, or rather Tabson alongside of him.
Double Molotov to the back of the bomb side as well. Crimbo is able to do just enough to get one. Tabson jumps across. It's going to be a Molotov to finish him off, but no, he tries to find solace inside the smoke. Instead, a bullet finds him. Hyped, looking to prevent the cross of that bomb. It's an incendiary out to the back of the arches. In the meanwhile, JDC picks up and buys his head, and despite Heroic looking like they've gotten ahead, it really comes down to xCloud, who's coming in from behind. JDC...
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect. He had 2 sitting kills, but JDC has the bomb.
Time not great either. A single flashbang was all they had, and now it's used. They still need to cross over and get a double swing out. JDC's waiting for it. They're hoping to not line up. They're so scared. They're so scared, but JDC cannot dare to swing himself, worried about the second player who's likely going to be coming forward, but he might have missed his timing window. Now down to half HP. xCloud and LNZ both to deal with. Making plenty of noise, Thunderfooting forward. No point trying to hide intentions when they already know what's going on, and it's from Snacks he will fall. Big Clan getting caught off a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe didn't expect that xFile would continue to pick up on some of the late round connector pressure. You know, you think back to the pistol, you think the time he reset from the B apartments and was able to, you know, get a potential kill on the bottom side of connectors. His teammates were going for an A side attack. This time it's left unguarded. You know, Big make their rotations. They don't consider the prospect of a flank, and xCloud's able to slide in behind them in the market and turn the tides of what was becoming a very advantageous 3 versus 2 situation for Big. You know, having control of the bomb, knowing at least where one of the players was on the site. Suddenly the round is completely flipped. And this is the thing, Heroic, with the way that they're playing out these rounds so slowly, they're exhausting their resources. Some Pies didn't want to make the cross into the bomb site with the actual package, partially because xCloud had that flank lined up, but then also he knew Hyped had the AWP as well trained on him. It's a lot of respect given over to Hyped in that instance. You know, you'd think sometimes the caliber, some players would just peek. When you know you have no util, it's fight or flight.
Right now for Big, it's a flight of capital. They don't have any money. Heroic are hoping to continue to maybe crunch down off the back of that round win. Fortunately, Big aren't really coming in with too much of a threat. It's really just USPs. It's not like, you know, versus BCG or over here where we've seen so many force by wins across this entire qualifier. It is going to be a relatively straightforward affair for Heroic to clean things up.
Slow and steady. And the Hyped AWP is back in play. Be another full gun round for Big, but with the way that they've been playing the starts, you know, the opening 30-40 seconds, they've been prioritizing one side or the other. They've been either having almost like a 3.5-man setup on A or the B bomb site. They're clearly trying to set intentions early in these rounds, but this is more of a default spread.
LNZ knows that there's someone who's gone out for that fast short play. I don't know if he's registered it or not, but he definitely heard Hype dropping down. JDC getting ahead of his own smoke is certainly a possibility. It's all about trying to find LNZ alone. It's been a consistent difficulty for the IGL of Heroic to be able to make this work, but now hoping to use his enemy smoke as cover. A cover now gone. Spots out Hype. He knew he was there. This is exactly what he had in mind. Now the B-bomb site under duress. It comes down to Crimbo. He's good for the first, a headshot on another, and a Molotov that will not be flushing him out. And Tabson's assistance allows for number 2. And as he's ducking away, the flames will claim him, but it leaves Sanpayas all alone.
This should just probably be a save. Unless somebody from Big gets audacious and gives him a hairline peek. Information on at least one towards short. The rest of the site is silent. Oh, he's gonna give this a good old college try. He's really trying to force them into a duel, but some great restraint from Big.
Oh dear. Almost losing out on JDC, but almost it doesn't really matter. It's okay. Despite a great round start from LNZ, just being able to trace out that op, the execution of the B-bomb side afterwards is just met by so much resistance. Dabson's rotation was significantly faster this time, and Crimbo wasn't caught between angles, wasn't caught off guard like the previous round where Heroic was able to move past him in the initial phase.
And you just see as well some of the value that Crimbo brings. He never gets panicked in that situation. He's not full committing to his spray. He's doing small, short bursts, delaying, and hitting shots while he's at it. My goodness. Once again, JDC toying with death, but Tabson goes swinging off of short in support, and he loses his life so quickly. LNZ as well finding this catch in at the stairs, but Crimbo, as stalwart as he may have been in rounds prior, falls on this B-bomb site. So a 4-on-2, and with JDC on low HP, taking a lot of damage through smoke, this is probably going to be a save. They find LNZ for free. There is an argument to be made. I don't know if
I don't think it's a good one.
Yeah, bigger not the type.
Yeah, the early death on the Tabson and Heroic are just able to be a little bit more cohesive in that mid control and the mid fighting. Just earlier duels favoring them, and Big not ready for it.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the disparity in the way that Big are starting their CT setups, because they were prioritizing bomb sites for a little while, and in the past 4 or 5 rounds, they have decided instead to just play a little bit more standard with these 1-3-1s. You know, depending on whether Hyped wants to go for an aggressive line, they obviously shift their pieces around so they still have eyes on all the major entrances.
Why do they want an M41 on Heroic? Sanpai specifically went and picked that one up. xCloud asked for it.
xCloud's been doing a lot of sneaky maneuvers.
It's true. But just because your feet are silenced doesn't mean your bullets have to be.
Well, will prove to be just as lethal against Hyped and Crimbo. We end up in duels with them. Hyped really toying with death again. No smoke in the window. Complete miss there from Heroic, but taking advantage of that fact.
Great setup coming out over here for Crimbo. This time over, the Molotov will not matter at all. Even the grenade popping things open, they've got no idea. They cannot go into the B-bomb site. And with the man already down, unless Big overlooked the possibility of xCloud, which is unlikely after those previous rounds, JDC is already keeping an eye out for him. JDC, when you take that peek, and xCloud has missed his chance. Now with the Molotov from either side, the T side going to be slightly stronger. xCloud takes advantage of it, moves back, and no potential for a trade.
They're anticipating this reroute. They've got Crimbo already pushed through the B apartment, so they should know this is some kind of an A-side finish. And xCloud's probably a dead man walking. Crimbo hears the steps top middle. It's actually Sanpayas that'll be the victim, and with that low health on xCloud, it's not looking good for Heroic. A 2-on-4 where these positions are odd, but Tanir has made his way through the underpass back to B, and it's an open site.
It's also basically a 1 versus 4 for him for the longest time. Unless xCloud gets this kill, he's on 1 HP. And that threat in the middle means that the only way these players can be funneled forward is through market or a very late underpass push. Tanir knows that as well. He's putting his attention out, and Tabson's making no secrets about his fair as Hype missed shot and Tanir's backed off. This could be disaster. A Molotov forces Hype even further ahead, and a flashbang might be dodged, but Tanir has dodged his sights again and again. Secondary flash and no one will peek. X-Cloud covering off the cross this time over. And what a flashbang, what a play! 6 for heroic Tanir, and X-Cloud bring it back as we go to that second half.
A miraculous finish to the first half provided by none other than X-Cloud and Tanir. A 2-on-4 where they combined for all 5 kills, where it is just raw, unadulterated synergy to get a 6th round for Heroic. Big have let a round slip through their fingers in an honestly marvelous fashion, to be quite honest. Even though I believe Tanir and X-Cloud may have played their positions perfect, this applies pressure on the Germans to perform here in this second half.
Especially when you consider how much of what Big was able to do on their CT side to find advantages was just getting that one initial mid-lurk in LMZ, getting knowledge of what's going on with X-Cloud much later on. Those kinds of advantages are going to be much harder to find on this T side. At least that's what Heroic is certainly hoping for as well.
Yeah, and it felt like Big had them shut down in a number of rounds, but Heroic had these clever tricks of the trade that let them back into moments and gave them access to sites. I can only hope that Big are as tricky, as hard to read.
LNZ yesterday was made a target, perhaps wrongly so. It does feel like Big might be attempting to do the same, at least in this pistol round. The rest will have to wait. X-Cloud information found by the head dodge. X-Cloud will be forced to try and get that duel out. Crimbo will be taken down by Tanir. Again, that magic duo from the last round of the first half. Striking true, but right back to a 4v4 as the reset comes in. Remember, Sunpice's position could be deadly to this underpass push forward. Between him and Tanir, it's going to be troublesome, but number one's already dealt with. Where's number two? Sunpice gets one for free. The smoke will also bloom in their faces, so they've got nowhere to go. But in the meanwhile, JDC will fall. And speaking of fall, QB's fallen onto that B-bomb site. Hype making his way back over. QB just trying to keep them at bay and short, but now there's two players and one coming in from the back lines. Youngster shuts him down. The trades from Big have been fantastic, but it will not matter when Heroic have always got one more where that came from.
Yeah, and it felt like they were one step ahead to a number of the repositions. They were not anticipating to have lost Crimbo inside of middle so quickly. You could see that there was, I think, initial plans to continue on that B-bomb site, but as soon as Crimbo dies, they suddenly lose another element to the attack. And when they try and reroute, Sunpice already has great positioning. I'm in a way surprised Tanir was peeking in the manner he was from short. That angle is far from ideal, but it did sell the idea that there would be no one else guarding that reposition. So, a little tricky, once again, but reading one step ahead of the big clan pistol. We'll see some Pius on a USP.
Yeah, he's also reading one step ahead.
Yeah, thinking about getting his hands on the ball.
And well, you know what? He might have just been gifted one anyway. Tanir is picking up so much money for it. He's considering moving back. Would have loved to see Tanir just throw the MP9 over to Senpai's at that point, but hey, whatever. It's okay. Oh, my insides, they hurt.
Yeah, I mean, your outsides would hurt too.
My insides would be on the outside, to be fair.
Yeah, that one was a meaty nade. No armor to help you there. Heavy reliance on Crimbo getting a 1-dig to break into this B-bomb site. And if they deal with him, then suddenly they can get a plant in. Given that they came in with low weaponry, this would be an ideal way to play things out.
Well, Crimbo's taking his time, and now at this point, even if he takes down LNC, it's really not going to be a plantable situation. So, 8 on the board for Heroic. They're able to clean up pretty straightforward. Sunpius moves in with his AWP immediately afterwards, and we'll have to wait to see what he wants to do with it.
Well, we didn't get utter devastation from Hyped when he was on that AWP. He was still a bit of a menace. You know, he wasn't making these crazy moves. I mean, we were watching him yesterday on Mirage, and he was walking through the bottom con smoke.
Twice.
Getting a kill, and then going back through the bottom con smoke, back into connector, and then back out to middle. Which is unpredictable, and did cost him, but he was also hitting a lot of shots when he was doing those types of plays, so I can understand why he was feeling confident.
I'm getting dizzy just listening to it.
Hey, he's gonna fall back at some point, but well, Hyped.
Why fall back when you can just die?
Yeah, or kill them.
That's true. A little bit more aggression from X-Cloud this time over, but a Molotov at the feet of Connector means that he can't actually find safety. So if Big had started to commit, it would have been scary. Youngster, though, is the one who's committed a bit too deep. Crimbo able to find him and take him down. I don't even think he spotted out QB, so they only will have information on one player. But in the meanwhile, X-Cloud and mid trying to reclaim that fight, trying to reclaim that advantage, will instead extend it in the favor of Big.
It does certainly feel a bit ambitious to be solo pushing with that MP9. You know, there's no flash lined up. It's just a dry fight in at the ramp.
The hardest read of all time.
Yeah, I mean, Big had 2 players in position. And Crimbo was leaving himself exposed on certain timings, trying to dodge a flash that inevitably never came. It's a very spread way to try and play your first gun round, especially when you've got some Pius on this AWP. Thought they would let him cook with it for a little bit. It's a nice kill back here from Tanir, catching that mid lurk. But there's another one where that came from. Tabson taking up that mantle and actually could get the drop on a player if they haphazardly jump over him. Tanir has not cleared, but as he turns, yeah, Tabson had to pull the trigger. Tanir was going to look top mid in just a moment.
Daenerys gonna call. Guys, I'm telling you, there was someone in an underpass.
And he was right. Tapson just got out before he expected. Yeah, even if they really wanted to go for a retake like this, the way that this round starts is just so unideal that this is an easy call to save. Sometimes want to just put those mistakes behind you and focus on tightening things up in the following round. But great punishment there from Big. I mean, keeping together on the extremities. They may have ID'd the fact that an ult could be available, but they didn't actually get exposure to it.
Yeah.
Vampires didn't fire off a shot. It could in some ways still be an unforeseen element. But also they know the nameplate in the server, so they'll have game planned around whether or not Sunpies has that weapon.
This time over, Heroic are the ones who are going for maybe... no, thought it might have been a boost off us and buys into short, but no, that isn't the case at all. In fact, it is still Tanir who's trying to peek out from there, just make sure there's any sort of aggression, but QB being a menace. A lot of presence just trying to force out the CT utility early on in case they want to try and end up on the B-bomb site. But regrouping for A is maybe the call for Heroic. Z Senpai is coming back to CT spawn. It is going to be between xCloud and Tanir to take care of middle later on in the round.
Looks like we're going to try and set up for a heavy connector play. Two players towards top middle with the bomb. Player working the underpass and still having the presence of Crimbo inside of Palace. It is a 3A setup, but with all the util that's been deployed, all the presence and the lack of info, yeah, Crimbo finds a great timing. X-Files is about to keep the connector, but he gets timed himself. Youngster pushing into that Palace just as the execute comes in.
And Pass able to come up with one. So Youngster is able to find two more. What a round from him! He's hyped all alone and Big. We're really relying on that one smoke on short. Vice even gets a spot out with a jump up, and now he's got Hype's number. He's having to back off a flashbang straight back into connector to try and ensure that he can hold on to it. But now at this point, maybe stop jumping. And that's exactly what he'll do. 18 seconds. Hype would rather find death, if I'm not wrong. But to be honest, even saving isn't the worst. He does have $2,700, but would like to deal some damage out of the CT economy as well while he's at it. Now it's a little bit too late. Youngster hunting him down. A flashbang from LNZ could go nicely, but they're even looking for him after time, and they'll find him. Very nicely done from Heroic.
Yeah, I don't think Hyped even realized that he was totally pinned in position, but he tried to hold on to that rifle, but he basically had to fight his way out of it. Completely locked in, and yeah, the reaction from Youngster is perfect. You know, he loses a player, and he kind of makes up for leaving his teammate out to dry. X-File might have seen the position on the map and just not expected that Crimbo could have found that angle to him.
I think that... Oh, I'm going to hold the point, because right now it's going to be a faster play out towards his B-bomb site. They want to overrun, but instead it's grenades and it's bullets, and both of those are hurtful. Much like words can be, guys. But more.
Well, nicely done there from Tanir. Sweeping up 4 kills. LNZ took all the attention, but Tanir hit all the shots. Or the HGs.
Everything. But in the previous round, Big actually threw a really nice smoke count towards short, which forced xCloud to start considering out for a mid lurker instead of a Palace. And Tanir had backed off at that point as well and completely left short to xCloud, which is why that timing was great. But still, Youngster just turns that round on its head, and Sunpius' position was also very good to provide for that distraction.
By that logic, though, Youngster would have pushed into Palace earlier if they really thought that they didn't have to worry about a lurk from Palace, right?
It's all of the above.
He's playing top. He's playing top balcony. If they're gonna come up con, it's not a great position to play. So,
ooh, what a shot from JDC! And why stop at 1 when you've got 2 in the tank?
Oh, Tanir spotted, but he still gets away with his kill. JDC tried to relay that info as fast as he could.
Oh, well, convenient.
Yeah, Tanier has an exit path now.
Look, technically, if he wants to, he could even drop down through that waterfall. But right now, it's all about LNZ on short, waiting for these two players to come forward. Almost lines them up. It's only one, but JDC is the one who continues to find success. Now finally limited as he's put to the ground. Tanier will join him. He's youngster alone, the man of the previous hour, but the clock has moved on. Can he still keep up with the times? It is a man behind, a man on the side. Crimbo will be flanking him out, and he is aware, but he's lost the plot. Perhaps not. No! Crimbo will still get the jump.
Yeah, I mean, youngster had basically the perfect read. Saw the site player, knew that Crimbo was playing relatively close to that bench position. If he wasn't covering him at the window, then had to be very suspicious of his potential flank, and Crimbo's exactly that type of player as well. But couldn't hit the shot. Some lovely shooting from JDC. So really sparked that round there from Big. That's why they started to play with that additional pace, and you could see the immediate chaos that sowed into the comms and the positions of Heroic. But Tanier has also been adding a little bit of that spice. Just keeping them on their toes.
104 ADR from JDC, by the way. He's not slowed down a piece.
Yeah, second highest in the server. It's a fast A call from Big. They're immediately set up for an A-side attack, and Sunpai's taking the peek from top stairs, has already sussed it out.
Again, youngster is going to be given a chance to come through big on this A-side defense. JDC is a surprise factor, but a surprise for very little time. Only good for the one. Sunpai trade. And again, this A-site is just being disrupted by the Spanish offer again and again and again. Fantastic round. Sunpai's destroying anything Big had in mind.
It's also one of the previous rounds where he had a starting line very similar to it. When he first got his hands on that AWP, he wanted to go for that deep A ramp peak. Maybe seeing something in the way the Big opt to default, in that he can maybe punish someone on that cross, but when he sees players just hiding behind that one incendiary, keeping them at bay at the ramp, it does signal to them that this was going to be a pacier round out from Big Clan. They get devastated, and their economy is left in a position where they have to opt for pistols instead. So it should allow Heroic access to a 12th round. But we've seen some pretty solid low buy rounds from Big. This one doesn't feel like it has as much flavor to it. Won't have as much utility to bring into the round. Less ways you can sort of trick your opponent. You are reliant on hitting shots. Does Tapson not have a pistol at all? Yeah, he's running back to spawn to gather one.
The most literal interpretation of Cassidy's hands you can have. It is. No, never mind. I thought maybe there's going to be a chance for Tapson to be able to find that deagle shot onto the boosted player. He did seem aware of it a few times, but yeah.
They heard bomb drop in middle as well. Oh god, X-Flag could get timinged.
You will. Singular loss for the CTs isn't the worst thing in the world, but right now with Tanier all alone, there's chance for more. Will they find it? No, Tanier continues to have the hottest hand known, but Crimbo finally puts him down. Good damage dealt already. Can they find more?
Oh, well, LNZ should have him dead to rights now. Oh my god, never mind. I forget who Crimbo is. He's the clutch king, and he's got his access to this B-bomb site, a plant. He taps it, and he goes straight for the fight, and they almost line up. It's youngster that shoots Sunpai's in the back, but secures it for Heroic. That's against 4 Deegs, or rather 3 Deegs, 2 Glocks. It comes down to a 1v1.
He swings at 9 seconds. Thank God youngster had his gun out. I wouldn't be expecting him to. I'd be thinking, yeah, they're making a quick beeline down, just making sure they can find him while he's planting. No, none of that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Crimbo was going to die for sure to LNZ, but as soon as he got that kill, it unlocked the round. This is again a pacey call from Big. They just want to rush into A, and it's right. Youngster's the sole defender of this bomb site, but they're going to have so much util to try and take back this site.
JDC's been lost inside all of the flashes as well. In the meanwhile, he can't find anything. He's looking for a duel back to CT, but there's going to be 2 players here. Watch out for that MP9 as well. An incendiary used early on just to make sure that no one can penetrate. Tanir finds 2, and he keeps it going. Why stop? Why stop? Heroic will take map number 1. Mirage lies in their favor.
I mean, this was their selection in the series, but I was not expecting it to finish in this manner. I mean, from that T side, the 2 versus 4 that both xCloud and Tanir were able to pull together on the side of Heroic to guarantee a 6th round, I thought that might have made a world of a difference, and it may have affected how they approached that second half. But Big, towards the end of that T side, just calling balls to the walls counter-strike, some aggressive...
That we painted Crimbo to be at one point, we painted Tabson to be at one point, where I know that map to map, they are going to show up. He's going to be all right, I'm sure of it, but is he going to be the guy again?
Well, I mean, I see no reason to doubt whether or not he can be that guy from his time in MAU's NXT to MAU's and then dropping out of that MAU's roster ever since he had to, I guess, fight for his own career, so to speak, outside of working with a large organization. He has earned the respect and the capabilities. I think he's unlocked new parts of his game due to those experiences. But we're going to have to wait to see whether or not that actually transpires on the server. Second map in the series between Heroic and Big. Heroic already 1 notch with them winning their map pick in Mirage. But this is a elimination game, potentially, for Big. They need to win this map to keep themselves above water. 1 spot remains out of the European close qualifier for IEM Dallas.
Nice initial bait to get that smoke drawn out from the CT side. Remember, the CTs do not have a kit, so they would like to be able to just get these early picks. Instead, LNZ, quick switching, jump spotting, gets information, and will keep his head. There's that second smoke now coming out, but xCloud's beaten past it already. They will know there's no one coming over with it. They think so. Senpai's relied on and good for 1, but Tanir is the one who makes a difference. Gets the kill, backs off, and Big's elaborate attempt at trying to take over this B-bomb site seems to already have been thwarted unless QB and Crimbo can put up a show.
Using both of their Molotovs, they know they have to try and segment the site as best they can, but going 1 for 1 isn't really going to cut it. QB can get this bomb down, but they get a lot of damage, and surely no way that he comes away with the fights. It's an instant headshot, but ring around the rosy, it's still on for QB, and he's got it! From 2 HP, he answers with those dualies, and it's a 4K from QB to secure the pistol.
Senpai is regretting spending $300 right there, and then QB, I can't see him getting that one with a clutch. You're thinking he's being tagged down continually. Big has been completely red. You've got that aggressive player inside Donut to know that it's not going to be an A-side hit coming through. You've got 2 players still ready and committed at the B-bomb site. Senpai is gearing up for a multi-kill. Everything shapes up for Heroic, but that's the beauty of Counter-Strike. Get a quad kill and the brains don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 1 versus 3. That is a crazy situation for QB to find himself in, and to just hit instant headshots. They could have been pre-firing, they could have been spamming around the edges of that pillar, and Heroic may have had a better chance at it. You give QB too long to set up his crosshair, it's clear he can be lethal.
Mm-hmm. Never any doubts about that.
And he's a name that we haven't spoken about as much. You know, it does feel like it's very frontward facing with JDC Crimbo hyped, but QB has impressed in his own ways, and another great clip to add to the resume.
Senpai, in the meanwhile, missed shot, and he's going to be relying on Youngster, who's already been taken down. xCloud, the second man there, good for 3 with the UMP! The weapon that gave Big repute back in 2018 now comes back 7 years later to bite them in the Turkish hands of xCloud.
Where are these triple kills coming from? So quickly into Ancient. That's a great shot. QB starting off with a hot hand.
Is it another impossible 2 versus 4? QB and Crimbo, the same ones alive as before. QB this time will not be able to do the impossible.
A task too great. And getting caught with util in their hands. You know, first player to try and lead out from A main just gets completely steamrolled by xCloud, and the 2 teammates behind him are expecting, I think, a little bit of space, but yeah, just an instant mow down by a UMP of all things. Seen a lot of love for the MP9. Hell, the MP7, there are specialized players. But the UMP goes largely disregarded.
Yeah.
You start putting some respect on that name.
Also didn't get the year wrong. It was 2017 when they were good with it. But hey, whatever. The Nias in the spike, the smoke, the spray is great, but Tanir's already gone. And that company can't prevent that bomb from being planted, so now Heroic have to go out and play the full retake. That Molotov they don't, but at the very least, LNZ finds one instead, though traded quickly. Kyubi's Tech 9 continues to be lethal. Senpai, is he pushing through the smoke? X-Cloud reveals his position right next to him, and he's turned around as well. This is falling apart. Force spy on force spy.
This is how Ancient is started, I suppose. It's just gonna be a complete force spy war.
I love it.
Timeout taken here by Big. Maybe just trying to make sure they don't get too wrapped up in the craziness that's ensued already.
Yeah, Kakafu just standing behind them running in. Listen, guys, good job, but also we didn't need to get here, okay?
Yeah, these are outrageous maneuvers we're making. We were gifted a pistol by QB. We don't have to go fast. You just think about the way the Mirage closed with the fast A-side attacks. Wind pistol goes straight into a second round. Again, it's a pacier call from Big. Not usually the timing you expect Big to really center themselves around. Usually it's map control into a decision. They're calling from spawns a little bit more frequently. And, well, oh my god, that's gotten off to a great start. X-Cloud found his kill as well. So it's a 2-for-1, and they get their hands on an AK via Youngster.
Got a lot of Star Wars fans out here because the Force is with them. I mean, look at that movement from Youngster. He's able to move past all the util, takes advantage of all of the initial noise that the execute, or rather just the mid-take is taking. It's not to say that Heroic are out of deep waters. They still have some swimming to do. But at the very least, they see shore. These two players in the B-bomb side are hoping to be able to find at least a kill apiece, if not more. Tanir's Deagle is not trained at the right position any longer. He's going to be swinging out from the side as he recedes back. Now, remember, you should have an idea that there's at least two players here, but with the spam as well coming forward, rotations from Heroic are fast, the bombs being planted. Are they going to be able to find anything? No, not quite. Hype reveals LNZ's position, and while the reload comes in, Hype starts pushing forward. He'll still fall down. Youngster's got the AK retrieved from earlier on, never forget. The bomb, it's inside cave. So Crimbo, he has time to go back to the A site, and Youngster's recognized it. He's going to try and intercept in middle. And you find a second kill up ahead. The timing is not going to be found, barely just missing it. And that gamble will cost him a bomb once Crimbo commits to it. And Youngster doesn't swing. He's worried, and rightfully so. But now Crimbo has the angle. He's got the space. And Youngster's position revealed. The wallbang isn't enough. Needs more. We'll find it. Force on force on force.
From a 1 versus 3 pistol to start off this map, it has been force spies. It has come down to quick trades, fast headshots, again, pacey decisions. That timeout that was called by Big did nothing to help them. They call a slower round. They end up trying to play towards B, but Youngster fully exploiting the fact that Big aren't the type that swing out mid immediately off of spawn timings. They get caught behind a smoke, there's a Molotov in their face, they wait for that Molotov to dissipate, or the incendiary rather, and they flash through it, and they just get caught with their pants down, and not expecting Heroic to be as aggressive. First 4 rounds, or rather first 3 proper rounds past the pistol, have all come down to whether or not a team can stabilize, and so far the answer is no. See whether Heroic can make a change to that. Because if not, they're gonna force.
This is such a heavy mid concentration from both the CTs and Ts, but there's 3 players already inside Red Room. Sunbias doesn't have the weapon for this. The A1 is not great at getting multi-kills in situations like it.
They're reclearing from mid, from Donut.
Instead, now the distraction comes in. Sunbias is thinking of the swing, but he's going to go down regardless, and with xCloud dying, it really all comes down to Youngster, and he'll do it. They know there's more where that came from, though, and the A-side ramp is what they're concerned about, rightfully so. The Youngster comes back into it. That AK that he stole away in that previous round still has work to do. A flash overhead, but it will not matter. LNZ now left all alone, swings out, nothing to find. The double peek from Big gets them another one. We're not done here.
This is the halfway point in the first half.
Who needs gun rounds?
I mean, it's been forced by... I mean, how do you not force back? I think it would just take incredible restraint to say, that's it, they've won the force buy wars. We're just gonna play rounds out normally, because you'd be allowing Big access to at least a couple more rounds. I mean, their loss bonus is at, what, 1900? 1400, isn't it?
Hmm. LNZ's also immediately brought up. He is the IGL. Don't forget, Michael. So that incredible restraint that you're talking about, it's not coming.
Yeah, it's not being expressed. And I understand that. You know, these rounds are still, you know, it's trades. Again, I think Heroic have a pretty good read on what's happening. Yeah. I mean, the decision to re-clear mid and then re-clear red from Donut is actually very solid.
Yeah.
When it comes down to missed shots or duels or, you know, Big hitting some rippers.
Yeah, Sunbias gets that kill, the round is over, right? That just feels like that's a difference maker over there. Youngster starts swinging out from behind with the xCloud as well. It's just the finest of margins.
So yeah, it's gotten off to a bit of a crazy start on Ancient already. You know, I was wondering whether this map, especially with, you know, the rise of LNZ as an in-game leader and Saul as a coach, the rapport he has in building rosters up versus, you know, a Kakafu and a Tabson that have always been, you know, working a little bit more systems-based. You know, there's a bit of anti-striding. They're targeting players or weaknesses. I was expecting this to be a chess match, cerebral. And instead we've just gotten a brawl.
Gotten a high-speed checkers. LNZ inside the smoke with the grenade clearing it up. It doesn't actually full clear. He's now wondering if there's a time frame to put forward. He's already shooting. Kyubi will be able to get away with a single point of health again. The man who had defined the series perhaps with the slim margins that he keeps on getting away with. At least the game. xCloud now given another chance. He was hoping to finish off what LNZ started, but guess what? There's another player there. Sunbias is worse for wear, already on 32 HP, so doesn't feel like he'll have many better chances. And is the madness coming to an end?
Youngster is going to be re-clearing through elbow. Hyped is watching out for that, but there are timings that could be hit here by Heroic. If they re-aggress into cave just as they're descending from ledge, things get very weird very quick. They follow and they find Youngster. Hype still trained on that position. They hear those steps inside of cave, and it's all attentions raised. Look how many members on Big were ready to fight that singular player. As soon as they knew where he was, they were not leaving each other's sides. Finally, the Force by Wars come to a conclusion.
Put that 5-7 away, xCloud. Put it away. $2,400 in the next round means you are not going to be in a good position to buy.
Yeah. He's actually kept it.
Not a fan.
Yeah, me neither. But
so at some point you gotta know when to give up.
It.
Hey, let's see. Position is good for it.
You see exactly why. Dribble got dinked through an entire brick.
I was wondering about that, yeah, but no. Well, that's not through a brick right now. It's still traded away. Youngster gets his one, I suppose.
And over
Get those kneecaps away from me. I don't believe in knees. I hate knees, though. You know that, Michael? I injured my knee recently.
Oh.
It's so easy to get injured.
Well, I tend to try not to hit my knee on things.
I was just running. But hey, that's old age, I suppose. Big, however, will be very comfortably retiring away. At least that's what it probably feels like. Like, wow, we're living the good life. We're going to go against a gun round now. Luxuries of life.
Yeah, it feels like a bit of a losing battle on CT as well, just because you have to expend so many resources to assert yourself in middle.
Yeah.
And, you know, the few rounds that we've seen success from Heroic, it's when Big have tried to play this pacier play either through mid or towards the A-bomb site. That's where they've had the majority of their struggles. So it's a little bit more tempered. They're throwing all the util. Everyone's going to have full belts. But still the CTs will be a little shortchanged on that resource battle. So if you're Soul, you know, Sampais has an AWP now, you need him to lock down a line. So you don't actually have to expend as many resources on at least an area of the map.
I mean, you're expecting him to just be plonked down in the middle of the A site, right? Just, hey, this is all you take care of. Everyone else is hoping on a numbers advantage.
Yeah, me pretending I know exactly what Soul is thinking when I've not done what he's done, but
Sure you have, Michael.
it's just it will alleviate some of the strain from the rest of the squad if they know that an entire portion is safeguarded by a capable AWPer.
Looks like you're right. We'll be sticking it to the A side initially, and JDC, who is trying to stick it to xCloud, will be overrun instead. Crimbo is there to trade and keep himself alive. Moves back over to try and regroup with the rest of the B side players. And with Sampais actually taking a very aggressive line, they can feel incredibly comfortable turtling onto the B bomb side if they want to. We clear out middle through Youngster. There could have been someone behind those boxes, but right now Crimbo's been found and he's been pushing through, so they should know mid is clear as well. 4 versus 3 for Heroic, advantage in positions as well. Something you cannot neglect. But Sampais needs to hit the shot.
Yeah, so long as he stays in position, so long as he doesn't reconsider, think about potentially getting flanked. Yeah, lovely shot there from Sampais, even with the elevation height he put himself into. Would have got confirmation on the bomb, I believe, there as well. So you can see the lean from Heroic right back towards mid and that A-bomb site, trying to cover off Donut, make sure Sampais doesn't get flanked. Still 40 seconds on the clock, though. It's not as though Big have to commit towards A, but 2 versus 4. They know the AWP is within that A-bomb site. This actually could just be a long save call.
They've got the money if they want to just try and go make a mess of things, to be fair. And I wouldn't hate that. The CT economy, they've got every idea about how poor of a place it is in. But considering how bad loss bonuses and the like, it's fine.
It's a really ambitious move there from Crimbo to just waltz through the smoke inside of cave. I mean, it's a tight choke point. You know, if you're usually players that are going to find advantages through smokes are doing so when you see full smoke bloomage and you can come out multiple different sides or right through the center of it. But yeah, in a narrow hallway like that, that must have been some kind of hard read, or you know, maybe a step made on the bomb site made him think that there was a small gap he could exploit. But ends up kind of locking them out of the round. This is one of the maps where Crimbo, I think, actually does his best work. So, it's been some kind of decision made off of shoddy information.
Sampais is once again just being given the duty of taking over mid control and really nothing else. It is going to be down to the B-side players of Heroic. If they want to try and get aggressive, they will have no avenues of retaking middle at the rate this is going. Their flashes are incredibly limited. But maybe if Youngster wants to push through Donut and provide assistance, that could still be a danger to deal with. it all comes down to Senpais once again. Flashbang, dodge, shot found, perfectly played. That's exactly what you needed to see.
It is a joy to watch when you see those AWPers react so fast. Hype taking a dink. They're trying to contact up this B ramp. Spam damage will find xFloud, who tucked himself nestled in a corner, and it's Tanir that tries to play with some distance, but they haven't smoked him off as of yet. It's a Molotov, a flash, one to follow as well. They haven't locked into position, but still he wins his fight over Tabson, and LNZ goes out swinging from Cave, still into a 2-on-2. Access to the site for Big, and space to plant.
I'm sure continues to pressure onto Crimbo, but he doesn't realize that Crimbo's already made the crossover. He's starting to push forward, potentially. No. Crimbo will get the angle. QB will get the angle. Crimbo's on the back lines. Can't keep getting my K's mixed up when QB's the one who is killing it. 14 and 3 right now.
Yeah, that's another 4K to add to the tally. I mean, from the pistol round, he got 4. In this instance, when things are looking kind of dire to start things off, you know, 5 on 4 that Heroic had in their favor, and QB answers with another 4K. Seems as though when things are going a little poorly, they don't have as many grenades. QB's just been hitting shots.
Heroic are really hoping that they can find some of that earlier magic, madness. I don't know what you'd call it, but whatever it is, they want some. Otherwise, they could just find themselves locked down to 3 rounds. It's basically going to be 1 gun round after this that dictates whether that will be the case or not.
Xal's trying to be cheeky. He's got a Zeus up close, but hello, I see your hands. I know you're there. And hyped, greedy for the frag. That one seemed locked in for Tabson.
JDC as well, just making sure there can't be any Red Room shenanigans. We'll find LNZ and Senpais likely soon after. Unless maybe Senpais can get the jump on him. Nicely done. Recovering an AK is not the worst thing in the world, but right now Tanir is hoping to do a bit more than that with that first kill that he's found. Crimbo taken down. The spam is good on Tabson as well as finding the follow-up. Suddenly back to a 2v2. Remember, the bomb hadn't been planted just quite yet. Tanir feels like he can push forward, and Senpais is trying to buy him a bit more time. The smoke will be finishing off. It really just comes down to hype. Again, so much pressure on the AWPers to hit their shots, and they have continually delivered. Senpais will back off. Look to fight another day.
Just a procedural clear there from Big, but things do get a little hairy when they break into the bomb site. It's all well and good, though. Enough in the reserves that they shouldn't have to worry about a buy. And an AK that can be likely gifted over to Tanir.
Terrorists win.
Or xFloud, depending on which fight they prioritize more. Or who has the loudest voice. But he gave it to LNZ.
Who does have the loudest voice, to be
You would assume as the in-game leader, I suppose.
Yeah. So, you're right again, Michael. That's now twice.
Color me surprised.
Me too. They have no kits. Interesting. They had the money on Youngster to be able to buy it. That's something they might end up regretting later on.
Especially when you think about Ancient, there's so many iconic retakes that have occurred. You know, a kit can certainly go a long way. But with the way the Big have been playing, they've, you know, Heroic have been getting locked out or counter-traded, playing for time. Senpais gets a very nice leg onto the first, but JDC is still ahead of the play. Molotov's segmenting those site defenders, but they come out on top. Bomb clamoring back to the mid-control that Big have acquired.
This is still great positioning from Heroic though, but the problem is going to be that smoke on Donut has just run out, and Big can start to look to isolate duels. If Hype wants to lead the charge, this would be it, and he is doing so, but at the wrong place. Senpais was already posted. It's an angle that JDC has often exploited. This time it's Hype on the other side, and he will fall. Great timing on the peak from Tanir, leaves Crimbo alone. And as much success as Big have found in some of these late rounds, this will not be one of those.
You can see from Tanir as well, didn't take his chance to swing from Brokey and jiggle into Donut when he still knew the AWPer was alive, but as soon as Hyped is out of the equation, gives a little jiggle, taps and actually doesn't see him on his screen, and Tenir just takes full advantage. Knew that Tabson would have to worry about a number of different angles from main to CT. So leveraging the lack of information against Big in that particular moment. This is not an ideal buy, but more than enough oomph to it. Tabson on a P250. LNZ will catch his kill. It's QB that tried to get ahead of the incendiary. And Tabson cannot recover that weapon. In fact, LNZ will ferry the weapon further into cave.
Hype will find nothing with the boost.
He could in a second.
Well, he finds information at the very least. He knows XCloud has also gone back over towards that right side. I am wondering about what JDC has in mind. He will be the one to potentially unlock this round if Big are to take it home.
They quite literally ferried that AK all the way from the inside of Cheetah right to the B-bomb site. So Tabson has no chance of recovering a weapon. But it may not matter. Those are not the key pieces. Hype still has that AWP in play, and he's holding. He loves to take these aggressive fights on the AWP.
LNC. Molotov will not be spraying to him. Maybe it does later on. Oh, it does.
God.
Right to the end of it. LNZ thought he had temporary solace, and Tenir, whose position was already revealed, had Hype trained on him continually. It all comes down to XCloud. Crimbo doesn't register. He's there. He gets 2. Looks for 3. Connects with it. And Tabson's left alone. Now a gun to recover, but one without ammo inside it in 15 seconds. The time isn't on his side. AK picked up instead. The bomb to be planted. The grenades keep on peppering him up. They want to push through, but it's something they're so scared of after that first round. Tabson has a chance to do exactly what QB did in that position, but he can't find the second kill. Heroic will connect with 5. It's hard fought. It's 4 spies. It's clutches. But at the end, they keep it together as we go to that second half.
Terrorists win.
If the second half of Ancient starts any way as the first half did, I think we might have to get some cardiologists in the house. Big versus Heroic. Two teams, you're thinking, kind of structured, synergy. It's all about going to be tactics. Who's going to take the better execute? Who's going to have the better reads? It all came down to 4 spies for the first 6 rounds of that game, but let's see what the pistol round holds for us here.
Yeah, hoping that we stabilize us out of the craziness, but immediate read. Look at this. A main completely set up for via Heroic, but Big have 4 here. They've left mid completely open. They leave QB alone on B, and this A bomb site is almost certainly going to be a brawl.
I don't know if Heroic are ready for what's coming for them. Captain initially spotted out, but he says it's 1 kill. He's still fighting. Crimbo's the one with more hype reveals as well. How many Germans can you fit in a bomb site? A lot of them, apparently, and there's still more where that came from.
Crimbo didn't feel confident to take fights. He got his 1 kill. He doesn't have armor. He has the kit and a smoke.
QB's pushing through. There's confidence for you for good reason. This is the man who saves the pistol rounds for Big Clan. X-Cloud is low as well. He's already got 3 kills, looking for number 4. Shots being missed, but it won't matter. That stray bullet catches him out. Big Clan on 8.
I don't know how you start 4A into an exec and it still gets as hairy as that. I mean, fantastic job there from Heroic, being able to trade things out, segment off Crimbo, but yeah, QB has really been a massive savior in creating a little bit of distance between them and Heroic.
He's 16-5, and it does feel like half of his kills, if not more, are just end round multi-kills.
Every round that QB's died, Heroic have won.
Tanir started high initially. Great kill with the hero AK. This is what you want to see. But Thompson, he's been a hero of the entire German scene. Tanir, back to 1 versus 1. If you're wondering how this happens, don't ask me. But expect to see more of it. Tanir's even going to be given the space to start backing off. Crimbo's playing this careful. He'll spot out the head. He knows. He knows. But he
has
doesn't
a smoke
have
as well.
Kit. Is there one on the bomb site? You'd expect there to be. Snaps it. Plays on the side of the smoke. Perfectly done. Doesn't need the kit either. Moves back. Takes the AK. And he'll get the defuse comfortably.
Yeah, there was a kit close to that ramp as well. And I think it was communicated over. He didn't want to just smoke inside of the ramp. Just in case he got pushed on a timing or Tanir toyed with him. So taps it, smokes the bomb, and yeah, I mean, incredibly hard round to read. But that was 1 AK, 4 Glocks. You know, a great Tabson triple kill that kept him in the affair. If they're allowed to sort of dominate that bomb site setup into post plants while Tanir is still hitting some great shots, things could have gone out of hand very quickly. Again, a pretty wild start to the second half. Not quite as frivolous or constantly hanging in the balance as that the 4 spies were. Still contentious. Very aggressive mid-control set up by Big. A very early deployment of the elbow smoke, given that their spawn 1 missed slightly. Solid trade inside of Cave, and JDC will make sure that they reattain that position for the defense, but Heroic are starting to creep their way out towards this A bomb site, which leaves Hyped in a position where he has to just really hold on to Donut and keep information on this site.
Sunpius' distance from the site might actually end up being helpful as well. He started to go into middle instead, so if this bomb actually gets planted, and there is a world where you just get the plant in the corner here and now, then Sunpius can block off rotates. JDC has to be careful. He won't be expecting anyone here. If he makes any noise whatsoever, there are 3 players attempting to rotate and join up with Hype. At some point, Sunpius will strike and he finds that important kill. Now they're stressed forward and Tanir just doesn't react. He's so convinced about a player coming to peek out of Temple that he doesn't try and play aggro.
I don't know if Sunpius cold numbers. I mean, surely on the descent, maybe JDC was silent. You seem to be slower paced, waiting for his teammates. So at least 2 were inside of Donut. That much should have been a certainty, but maybe that extra man was just not a consideration. There was 1 total unknown, and yeah, Temple certainly could have been occupied, but you know, you think you're in a man disadvantage, you want to try and play off each other as best as you humanly can. So just a little bit of a haywire in the communications in Heroic, but it's a pacey calling to be.
In goes Youngster, not able to find anything. He smokes himself off, but Capson now fully blind, doesn't know where to shoot, and X-Files found him instead. And meanwhile, JDC tries to push up, but the bomb site is where the action's taking place. Tanir and Sanpayas taking apart the last defender. There's a second wave, however, still yet to come. Grenades and incendiaries flying out. It will make things a little bit more difficult. JDC burning inside his own teammates' flames, but its opponent will be the one to take him down. LNZ all alone. HP to play with. AK as well. No reason why he shouldn't be winning this round, but with Crimbo's smoke and his pedigree, we do start to wonder. Crimbo's making noise. No secrets about this one at all. A second smoke found as well. He could just pop it down. Has the defuse kit. There goes that second smoke. A flash as well. Taps it, but he's taken damage, and LNZ inside the flashbang will get the extra bullet that he needed.
Yeah, and I think Crimbo realized very quickly what was happening. You know, no presence, knew that he was last seen ramp, got that smoke down, but you saw LNZ line up his crosshair just before that smoke bloomed in his face, and he wasn't going to take his eyes off that prize, even with Crimbo finding a second smoke and a kit. Just didn't have the health to really trade it. So the round that comes down to a close clutch. Heroic narrowly squeaking that one by, but it does force Big down into pistols. Just USPs. You get out of the habit of saying that. Seeing a lot of P2Ks these days. One flash, and the plan was to flood them in mid, but there's no flooding here.
That's a great dam. Crimbo. Well, he gets one. Yeah. Damage on the second as well. Insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Bigger still in a bit of trouble when it comes to their money, right? They will be missing out on a couple of the bells and whistles, maybe short an incendiary or two. I don't know about the kits. If you want those, you probably do need to sacrifice on Tabson right now, and that's exactly what he'll do. So the MP9 pulled out. No head armor on 3 players, which might not be significant because there are 4 AKs, but you can see a few things here and there could make the difference. Hyped is...
Kind of highlighted a similar buy from Heroic
Yeah.
when they got their first hands on an ult, but this time, I mean, Big prioritized Molotovs. I mean, they shortchanged some of their weaponry as well, just to make sure that they have all the util they need for map control, so not as much of a, I guess, a focus on Hype to secure an entirety of an area for the Big side.
Yeah, they try and set him up with the boost instead on the B-bomb site, but that's much more risky when he doesn't find the kill.
It also just requires another player. So they're keeping Hyped here for the meanwhile, but I mean, with smokes, you know, the prospect of an execute, Heroic have set up their map control, they've established some presence inside of middle, outside of B. An ult will not serve you much justice in defending that B bomb site.
Smoke's been... I don't think that's a smoke that they wanted to have, but at the same time, they do get some deals with JDC. If that had been a 2 versus 1, could have made him regret it. Still,
Someone's gonna go back and get the bomb for Heroic, because they're 4 inside of middle, and I think they've just come to that realization now. LNZ starts the beeline for while his teammates are aggressive inside of Donut, but it shortchanges an extra man. In fact, 2 of them went back to go get that package, so the Donut play is completely mitigated.
and now Big's been given time to start rotating back towards that A-bomb site as well. They will have 4 players ready and waiting, and guess what? Tanir doesn't get to get up to any of the shenanigans. He gets caught out of the trickery. And there's 17 seconds. Heroic have no choice but to move back and save. A couple of small blunders in this round. And they will pay the price for it.
Yeah, just things getting a little hectic. They're playing with the clock, they're toying with time. Oh, it's still a little worry as well that Senpais could lose his weapon here, but Kiwi doesn't extend much further. But yeah, just in that chaos, as they're rerouting through Donut, I think they quickly realized, wait, Tanir actually hasn't picked up the bomb, and he was the solitary A main player, just pressuring outside of that side of the map, and you know, rerouting one of your mid players to go and escort him through A main probably would have benefited them quite handily, but yeah, using 2, they didn't have enough stopping power to actually breach the Donut.
Played out. Great damage. Still some of that big cloud of old effect that you always have to be worried about. In the meanwhile, they're even thinking about maybe setting up for a little bit of re-aggression into cave. They do have the two players who could have tried to go for it. Tapson decides to stay solo, and they will concentrate their efforts into middle instead. Hype getting aggressive. Shots been found, but not the kill. And they will be allowed to limp away to safety. Grenade damage has been great so far in this round. Big has really done a number on the C side.
They can still catch them, though. I mean, they're two players inside of this B bomb site, and they're heavily prioritizing the cave angle. They've still got two inside of red. They're anticipating maybe a reroute, but the spam from xCloud is right on the money.
It's going to force back rotations as well, but at the same time, Big doesn't actually know how many numbers there are over here at all. Hype is still holding on, and xCloud somehow found another one. GDC's rotation will not matter. Heroic now start to wonder, how many players are there on this damn B bomb site? Flashbang forces Hyped away. He's going to have the Molotov at his feet. He's going to be forced to take the fight, and LNZ is just waiting for him to be burned down. Still, it's all about that single bullet, and both of them need to find it at this point. LNZ will have a teammate even coming for the full wraparound. Big, despite all that great damage they get, despite the good shot from Hyped as well, Heroic have 5 alive.
I mean, this is a bit of a gift. Yeah, get one on the spam? Sure, fine. All well and good. Wait long enough that the rotate comes and also get spammed is crazy. You know, Hyped is thinking, oh, I've got teammates behind me. If I miss this shot, they're going to swing off my contact. They're going to, you know, bail me out of a bad situation. You know, he's probably not thinking about missing the shot, but that's the fallback plan. But then everyone that came in behind him got destroyed through a wall. So maybe watch where you're standing, Big. That round felt like a bit of a non-starter as well. Heroic were so hesitant to make a move, and they were actually allowing a lot of free map control for Big to have reaggressed into, and they're the type of team that like to do that in the mid-round, whether it's players like Crimbo, whether it's, you know, Tabson, they love hunting for information. So for Big, maybe there was even a hesitance to do that because Heroic were just not showing any presence anywhere, but this is a great change of pace. An A bomb site that's going to see immediate siege, but that smoke CT is not down in time. It's Crimbo that fights around the smoke, and the CT player can do nothing to contest. Segmented off, taking an HE to the face. This was a half commitment here from Big around the saved weaponry with pistols. But Tabson's trying to apply some weird pressure. Smoke that emerges out from Donut. So he's just running interference so they can actually recover. Oh, actually he was himself trying to recover the M4 inside of it, but the nade blows open the smoke and blows the M4 away.
Well, they can still set up for some exits perhaps over here. JDC hoping to pick something up with tech, rather with a P250, but no, nothing found. And Big will be moving into perhaps the most important gun round for them in the next one. They'll have everything they need because they're restrained on this one.
This also just felt like a good call based on the economy of Big.
Yeah.
Really tapped into how much money would be available. You know, compare this to the aggressive move that Big pulled off in the, you know, the first half after winning the pistol round. They, I guess, maybe weren't anticipating Heroic to be on a force buy, or if they were, they just hoped to steamroll them. When you have USPs or P250s and a couple of saved rifles, you're not always going to have, you know, Molotovs or smokes or flashes to counteract the play unless you're buying a little deeper than I think most teams would. So a great round for a faster call. Big now discussing what their possible solutions could be. Crimbo can't drop an AWP.
You'd hope that he does. You want to see Hype having the big green. QB can also do the same if he'd like to, but obviously it does feel like you probably want him to have a utility a bit more so. And yeah, Crimbo will be the one to take a hit as far as the utility is concerned, a single smoke, and I'm curious about what Hype is going to be up to. It seems like it is that Sun Bias strat that you discussed earlier on. of maintenance. He's going to be maintaining control over the A site, maybe assisting JDC in some late round mid aggression. JDC though wants to go early. He'll be cut off by xCloud completely. 10 and 16, he's not been able to get that same level of performance that Mirage did show in his hands. It's a big man to lose. Crimbo hoping to try and rectify that loss, but he'll be too late to try and push through. Hype is being pushed down. Hype, second shot's been missed, and now xCloud is gone and waited for a bit too long. Crimbo forces him to stay his course, but xCloud still wide swings. Takes down the offer, close range. Kyubi has found another kill elsewhere, so you're back to a 2 versus 3 for Heroic.
Oh, xCloud's gotten another kill. He's found 3, and he switches out to that AWP on that low health, and he'll find another. It's a 4K, but Tanir is not cognizant, not present of mind enough to realize that Spawn has been compromised. xCloud gave up that angle, and so it has to be all 5 here from xCloud. A smoke recovered here from Tabson, a kit available, and he's going to try and dart onto that bomb, but the AK back in the hands of xCloud. He's committing to the reload, and Tabson is purely sticking it. xCloud doesn't have the health to play around with, and Tabson, although conscious of it, a 12th round acquired, but again it comes down to a one-on-one. All those kills, all that effort from xCloud, it's for naught.
What more can you ask from him? Tanir as well, a strange position to be sort of tunneled into. You'd expect them both to start receding back and playing together, but of course in a position like it, you might be caught off at the time that you're moving back anyway. These 1v2s, 2v1s can be incredibly tricky, especially based off of the information that someone might have called earlier on.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well, you know, xCloud just got a kill towards Spawn, so it might have actually not been communicated to Tanir that, you know, xCloud wasn't going to be repeaking it. You know, he would have understood he was low health, but given that he's already found 4 kills, his position's been compromised, and he's on that low HP, if he's continuing to refight into Spawn, Tanir gets a heads up as to where that last player is, even though, you know, Tabson was very wary of that planter.
A heartbreaking...
You just don't know what's happening in that moment, really.
A heartbreaking round loss, sure, but Heroic, they're still in this. They still have a chance to be able to put down the CT side immediately and start fighting back towards overtime. JDC this time a little bit more passive, but Hype is the one who actually finds the kill initially. Senpai is taken down, and Heroic, xCloud's not going to be in the best of position to try and punish over here either. JDC will get the better of him. Kyubi has Hype to back him up, and it feels like Heroic have wilted. They will fall apart. Only LNZ left behind, and as many clutches as we've had. 1v5 without the bomb in this position is really a bit too much to ask for.
A couple of kills found, and real uncharacteristic misses from Hyped. I mean, started this round with 2, but seen to have a few opportunities. They've been chalked by the wayside. LNZ's doing a good job of creating opportunities for himself. The spam is... yeah, that's too much. Yeah, now it becomes an impossibility. 13-9 for Big, and this was a crazy ancient. I mean, so many force buys, so many clutches, so many rounds that were defined by slim margins, but those margins favored the Big clan.
And listen, QB, I don't know what he had for breakfast. I don't know what he was on, but he...
It's, not the help we were maybe after.
It's like receiving a foot when you ask for a hand.
Yeah, I think Youngster got the final kill. I think I saw a flash.
I believe you.
I was expecting the round to reset in literally the singular tick after the kill. But who's on CT? It is Heroic.
There you go.
They have likely stayed there as well. So thank you for joining us while we tried to figure that one out. But yeah, final map in the series, fighting for their lives and a chance to go to IEM Dallas. This is not the qualification game, but there's still this entire lower bracket to traverse. And this is maybe only just the start of their road. The end for one. Outside smoke here for Big. A flash lined up via Tabson, and they're getting a lot of space towards outside. LMZ taking a lot of damage. Crimbo trying to finish off that kill. It'll be Hype that finishes off the job. They want to try and collapse or apply some pressure on these rotates, but they get the kill at ramp, and they start to turn tail right back to Hut, and they are reading Heroic like a book.
Heroic might have been able to take out A couple of these pistol round attempts in Ancient looking pretty convincing. Still, oh, it's okay. They lose out of clutches, right? It's all fine. No, this one, nothing of the sort. If this is going to be what sets the tone for Nuke, it is going to be a short game for Heroic. But that being said, always do have the Force Spy in the back pocket if you want it.
Given how convincing that pistol was, sometimes I'd wager, not a lack of confidence in a pistol round can sometimes influence your decision to go for a Force. But this is also a resource-heavy map. So you want Molotovs, you want HEs to blow from the smokes on the cross. So opting for the Force Spy actually allows you access to that a little sooner.
It's also not a bad setup for what exactly Big is going for over here. You can start rotating the players down to the B bomb site very quickly. At this stage, even getting a couple of kills with the MP9 is big, but Tanir has a chance to go for beyond just that. Swinging out right now might be the play. They have still no idea of what's going on. He's going to wait for the bomb to go down. In fact, he's waiting for the very last minute, and JDC was continually aware. Hey guys, have we checked Dark? Okay, just in case. Yep, see, told you.
Yeah, it really felt like Tanir had to take an opportunity while there was that transition into the back of the bomb site. I mean, he actually had information that JDC was that close. Could have gone the drop on him a number of times, but yeah, enough suspicions raised with how hesitant Heroic were to actually contest, given that they had no foothold on B. Probably just came to the conclusion that maybe they actually do have some kind of foothold on B. Well, actually, he does get caught out by an MP9, but
oh, no.
X-Cloud jumping towards the rifle just as the bomb's about to explode.
I'm sorry, buddy. I know it's hard to remember sometimes how devastating Nuke's bomb is,
Yeah,
but
the blast radius is massive.
that's what happens when you mix in nuclear.
So Sampaias has to go crazy with this scout.
I believe.
I'm
I
glad
don't.
that makes one of us.
I really don't. I'm sorry. I felt like someone had to. Even so. Youngster had a couple of very good moments yesterday versus your tenacity as well. A few very nice anchoring points that we got to see from him. He is hoping to replicate that performance.
A lot of Molotovs at this A-bomb side are big. Not so bad. X-Cloud coming through the main smoke, a double kill on that Deagle, and a finishing frag via Tanir. That's bomb dropped inside of lobby. Tanir has access to it, but they deal with some pious. 1-on-2 now here for Tanir, but an AK recovered as well. He can reposition off this.
But at the same time, Big can also just pick up the bomb and start to move back if they want to. Tanir, he's really relying on them to come back over towards this A-bomb side, and Big going to choose against it. They know that he's a round player as well. They should have some sort of idea that he would have rotated away by this point. That's the way the call is being made, and Tanir is unfortunately just not in the right position. And especially if he rotates back to the B-bomb set at anything about now, he'll miss it twice over. But expecting heaven?
Yeah.
Surely not.
This
He's
is
never
tough.
even going to think about it. In the way, he had the right idea for the bomb site, but that's not the position.
Yeah, I mean, they had suspicions. They just decide to cut all ties with that A-bomb site, just go for a crazy reroute. Both players spotted on that top site. So, for him, he's thinking, okay, they'll go back, recover the bomb. They were just at A moment ago. Sitting on top hut, they'll come out of that hut, and he'll have an advantage, and it just wasn't the case. Great way to, I guess, throw off the expectations of Tanir in that clutch.
Well, X-Fab not getting off to the start that he wanted to in this gun round. Sampaias, at the very least, will have a chance to equalize, and he will take it. Nice grenade onto Hype will tip the scale slightly more in favor of Heroic, but in the meanwhile, Big has translated down towards Secret Stage completely. Hype continues to lurk forward with the AWP as well. A very unorthodox position, but that's why we do love him.
But there's nobody that's made a move down to that B bomb site. A full wall of smoke outside, and there's been no counter reaction by Heroic. 3 players are down, and they're making noise now.
Is this... No, you can't be saving right now. Hype is even going to be able to come in from the side. Almost gets the kill on LNZ. Misses the shot just barely. And he will have another chance, but one that's not taken. And if there was ever a conversation about saving, maybe now's the time to shut it down. The problem is the lack of kits.
Seeing a lot of misses from Hyped. And that may have allowed some access back into the round. But yeah, I mean, Youngster has the solitary kit. I'm surprised they didn't try and contest for this.
Did Youngster just pick it up from XCloud's body?
It surely would have been LNZ. He was closest to main. And that's where XCloud...
No, XCloud died through the door.
Yeah, no, he died in main.
Oh, you're right. You're right. LNZ would have had it. I don't know then. Honestly, I have no idea.
I think it's a little curious, and maybe it's just the fact that they found themselves hoodwinked. Maybe just a lack of information or a lack of comms. I mean, Sampaius hit his shot towards outside, using those smokes to his advantage to capitalize on a player peeking round the boxes instead of using the smokes.
Possibly just a misread based off of Hype's position as well, saying, hey, the op's not going to be alone inside lobby. Surely not, and we know they've not hit ramp yet, so don't need to worry too much about lower.
Yeah, lurking with an AWP it's a choice that not many would make.
He almost gets a lot for it, but now we see LNZ start the round off worse for wear as far as his life is concerned. Grenades exchanged on either side, but the CTs are going to be running out of utility a little bit more quickly. Have to be very careful. Tapson's looking to get inside, but it's Crimbo to fall, and Tapson goes down as well. XCloud from inside, the smoke will do it all. Leaves Youngster to take control of Hype, trying to go for another attempt. More missed shots, although I think this one maybe a bit more forgivable.
I don't know, are the long-ranged ones or the short-ranged ones more forgivable?
Aren't they all, if you've got a heart?
It just depends on what kind of AWPer you are.
Youngsters a short-range kind.
Yeah, I guess. Gonna say, Brokey, give him a short-range duel, he frags.
Everyone else, Now,
modesty,
listen,
simple.
we can't. You can't do that. That's unfair. All right, you can't bring in the goats.
I'd forgive a long range miss, but the short range ones, I let them. I think they have it every day.
Well, the Bias has been able to find a couple of good kills, but right now for Big, it's all about this Tech 9 play that they're thinking of. JDC feeling a little bit lonely over there. I will not lie to you. Doesn't feel like there's a lot of backup being given to him now that the execute comes through, though LNZ's already used his smoke. He'll be taken down. Great flashes to blind him completely blind at the back of the bomb site. Meanwhile, Tapson's doubled up, and somehow that P250 just keeps on going. Tanir rotates back, but they've wrapped around the silos and made sure they don't give him a target. And now, when he peeks out, there's going to be too many of those. XCloud's with him. We saw some great stuff from them on the Raj before. Picking up the AWP is a choice, but Tapson takes away all choices from them.
Yeah, they thought they had more time to play with. They were trying to set up so that XCloud could actually force in that first contact, and then the second behind could just immediately swing, but Tapson just takes that choice out of their hands. I mean, this was a fantastically timed execute on the upper site. The smokes were down. We see the rotate away from the A bomb site, I think via the vents. And LNZ, I mean, he just deploys a smoke at the door as the Molotov hits him. He turns attention to Hut, gets full flashed. Every piece of the util was incredibly well placed. And just let them swarm into that site so rapidly. Waited on a very vulnerable timing for Heroic. They were just rejigging their setup.
Yeah. LNZ never had a chance, and whenever your A-side anchor goes down to the Tech 9 rushes, ooh, it's hard. It's hard to keep a hold. Oh. Alright. We're good. But Heroic right now, they will be much more likely to start moving back towards saves. Tanir trying to make a move back out to Secret Stairs, and it's going to be a good one. Big R putting a fair bit of concentration on outside. X-Cloud reveals position. Senpai nowhere nearby. He's been given ramp duty, understandably so. As Tanir starts to move in, it is Tapson to take so much damage. A late smoke comes out as he pushes through into the lockers. Tanir will be revealed in position. Will not find anything for it. As Senpai turns the corner, Tapson sitting in wait. X-Cloud has found 2 in the meanwhile, though, and as he's
Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters European Close Qualifiers. We are midway through Big versus Heroic on the Decider map in the lower bracket, and we realize we may have missed some rounds, or the viewers at home may have missed some rounds. So I'm going to do a quick recap on the maps, on the rounds that I think the viewers didn't get to witness. We had a nice little shutdown from Tanir after a some pious 1 versus 2 clutch, where Big picked up the pace and went into the site without the bomb. And so Some Pious was able to clutch that one together. Tanir had that 4-man spray down in at ramp the following round on an eco. And then it came down to a 2-on-2 in the round that just happened just now between LNZ, Some Pious, Hyped in QB, and LNZ and Some Pious were able to bring it forward for the side of Heroic. So they have managed to salvage quite a lot out of the CT side already, securing 6. It's now about whether Big can secure the final round of this half to move forward.
Is there anything you don't know?
There's a lot, actually. And
Really?
That's the joy of living.
Well, listen, the joy of living is also we get to watch this final round of the first half and then send it off to a break again afterwards, unfortunately. But hey, that is just how things go. The point is, Heroic have been able to bring it back from 5-1 down to now 6-5 up, and they're hoping to close things out at 7. They would have had their money reset, but they did get that bomb plant in the previous round, so they will at least be able to put up a fight, if nothing else. Looking for 6 themselves, they'll be fine with the scoreline, but they want a bit more, considering what they started with.
Seems like a limited resource buy here for Big in this last round of the half, and so you can see them starting to deploy a lot of utility towards outside, trying to apply some pressure towards the top side simultaneously, and Crimbo able to slide into those vents. So already having a plant, or at least a player down towards that lower side, can actually siphon rotations, because Tanir was there to address those outside smokes. He knows the vent drop was a possibility.
Oh,
He'll catch Crimbo for it.
JDC's been able to move past that incendiary. He'll look for that duel, but Tanir takes it instead. 4 versus 3 for Heroic as the bomb is now underground. It is expected by Sunbias, though, who's still posted up with the AWP, while Tabson gets up to his shenanigans on the upper area of the map. Oh, missed shot from Sunbias, a rare one. He's been very, very stable. Great on both the op and the rifles, but he's now just trying to duck away. Waiting for the cross to come through. He's got an open sight line waiting for Tapson as well, though, but he doesn't know it. Tapson reveals position. Now Sunbias needs to perform inside the site. 2 good deagle shots will tip the scales a little bit more towards the Heroic side, but with LNZ and Youngster in this 2 versus 2 being very separated, it will be consecutive 1v1s that they have to win. Tapson's got the weapon to hold down the line, and that leaves LNZ all alone. Looking for 6, Big in a great position to achieve it as well. Kyubi on the other side of it with trying to swap out, but the missed shot from Tapson gives it up to LNZ. Flashes are all he has. He wishes he had a smoke with him, but now looking for where the bomb is. He's going for the defuse. A flash from Tapson. Will it be too much? He stuck it. He stuck it. 7 for Heroic as we go to halftime break. We'll be back in the second half very soon.
Oh dear. Oh, hello. We've got faces, guys, and we've also got games to cast. It's Big Clan who are up 5-1 and end up being down 5-7 instead. Heroic might have found winning ways, but they now have to do it on the T side. And if there's one thing I can tell you about Nuke that has been eternally true, those T sides are pretty damn hard.
Yes, incredibly difficult to string rounds together, even though Big did find quite a lot at the start of the half. Things fell off towards the end of it, and maybe Heroic can use that newfound momentum with their successful defense to mount a successful offense now too. Ramp, heavy pressure. Rotate from Hyped will be unable to thin the herd. In fact, they're routing right to him. They want to chase Hype down, but Tapson from heaven able to hit the headshot on a vertical line. And X-File's able to trade him, but Tapson's running out of bullets and will get chased down by some Pius. Even catching QB looking the wrong direction. This route was unexpected. Big did not foresee this. And so Heroic have access to this A bomb site where they can plant that bomb safely.
QB's going to start to try and push out while the bomb's being planted, but will not be given any fair duels. It's just jiggles on either side, but it's QB again. Those dualies that he's so dangerous with coming into play. Reload as time will be bought by Crimbo on the other side of that exchange, but QB's already hit the deck and Crimbo will look to rotate back and populate it. Both these players will be ready and waiting. Sanpai shuts him down. Big start off with a heavy ramp focus. They've got a player watching out who rotates down underneath. There's already another one there, so now Crimbo and JDC are down lower. Hyped is thinking, oh, I just have to make sure they don't come to heaven. Tabson even gets a kill. And after all of that, Heroic still outright Big. Insane.
Yeah, and they were very quick to try and reinforce that B bomb site, and it comes back to bite them. So the fact that Heroic are instinctively making that call, they would have likely called that particular route they take on the pistol ahead of time, just confuses Big in the moment. This time there are no QB heroics for the pistol. They were absent on that T side too, but they also weren't necessary. We haven't had the same stopping power that Big has displayed on some of the prior maps, whether it's been Hyped in some of the shots he's been hitting, whether it's Big QB in the performance he put up on Ancient. JDC's not having a great time either, but QB will get his one. Tapson doubling up. He's the only piece that has really been firing on all cylinders, and he gets a triple kill from the top side of Hut with a 5-7. I'm getting some flashbacks to Ancient. It's a pistol round win into Force by that Big will be able to take for themselves, so they right the ship rather quick on the defense.
It's crazy that there's multiple flashbacks that I can get from the same series. You're talking about Ancient. I was thinking about the first half where Tapson just pulls out that P250 3K and a fourth with a gun that he picked up on the upper side. That's now 2 force by rounds that Big have had given to them by Tapson and only Tapson. Where you're talking about missing firepower, he has not been missing, but you need someone else to show up eventually. The CT side is all about buying time for that to happen.
Yeah, what Tapson's doing is compensating for a lack of firepower, and doing so rather well, but here's a force buy for Heroic, and they take over that A bomb site instantly. Molotov to heaven will keep Hyped at bay, and so they have a man advantage.
Turns how that upper bomb site can be taken up by forces on either side. JDC, the flashbang timing is great to keep him away, and Hype can't finish off the kill too easily. They'll take a grenade to the body. Hype and JDC not feeling too good about this, but they all have to start coming through the same side. Crimbo re-navigates away. He'll take up Heaven instead, but the smoke from the T side is actually going to be giving them a lot of cover from both Heaven and Mini. How do you take this away? The flashbang goes deep. They're trying to assist Crimbo in the peaks, but Crimbo is not going to be given anything either. They're running out of time. JDC is the one with the kit. It has now hit the deck, and although Hype has recovered a kill, Crimbo's got one too. Will he be able to get onto the bomb in time? No, he will not. He's realized it as well. Even the consolation kill evades him. 9 for Heroic. They fight back.
Okay, this is feeling more like Ancient in every round. I can't believe they were able to trade 2 for 1 on that upper site. You know, you're maybe expecting 3 players there at a maximum, but even with Hyped trying his best to reinforce it, the fact that his A players die so quickly just allows the T's to get a Molotov towards the heavens, and then they were allowed to set up in these after plants. The smoke towards main was definitely not going to benefit Big. They even kind of mistimed their coordinated utility. I mean, a flash that was lined up from the backside, or I guess rather the front side of Garage into main while a smoke is being deployed, but it's not in tandem with one another, because all of Heroic pretty much ate that flash, but they couldn't make use of it. But some critical shots being hit by Tanier towards the end of that round. If he didn't get that 1-for-1, then Hyped actually might have had enough time to transition into that bomb site.
How's he going up? Didn't they just lose?
I maybe just didn't clock that Hyped actually didn't have a weapon in the second round. Or in that, yeah.
Even then they lose. How much money did he save in that first one?
Yeah.
He basically just double saved it from what I can tell. That's the only way I guess. Better work out.
Yeah,
It will be unexpected, that much I can say.
He got a couple of kills in there as well, right? So that's maybe just how he's able to afford a glass cannon AWP.
Crimbo and QB together. X-Cloud. Molotov in hand. There's 4 more players where that came from. He's got Big Brother backup. I hope he's making his way back down to the B bomb site. Look, it's a right place for him to be, but will he be given these shots? There's smokes, there's flashes, Molotovs. Plenty of things to try and keep him away, and Hyped at this point. There's always going to be that conversation. Maybe I just need to save. If we lose one more player, I can back off.
I mean, there's great benefits in not revealing that you have that AWP. It's supposed to be a bit of a surprise.
Tanier, he gets it somehow. Too many question marks in this round, but tabseN has always been a bit of an exclamation point. The bomb will be planted, likely secured. tabseN, nothing to do over here with X-Cloud watching over. 3 kills for X-Cloud puts him on 18 and 10. And Hype will be allowed to save.
Yeah, he's been having a great go of it, X-Cloud. Even in the Mirage, where Tanier was having a great performance, we saw the interference that X-Cloud was constantly sowing into the defenses of Big in particular. It has been either Tanier or X-Cloud that has really stepped up in the moment. It hasn't always resulted in the map win, but it will certainly get you most of the way there. Never fired a bullet. Never got given a chance to.
He has to save the day now.
Yeah, the problem now becomes, do you invest around this AWP, or you just let it be a little bit lopsided and just hope that Hyped can actually perform some heroics?
A CT side op, even if you're going to be performing heroics, you're expecting, a couple of players to have Kevlar, be able to pick up some guns if you get some kills and whatnot. This has to be all him. There will not be any backup whatsoever.
Aggro line into hut with that AWP.
Has to hit the shot this time over. tabseN's trying to come in tandem from the side. The speed 250 that's really paid off for him before, but right now the Molotov will be forcing him in. Senpai has found Hyped as well. That one AWP that they were hoping to put use to will be able to find a kill in the hands of Kyubi. Yes, but however much that really amounts to, I'd rather not comment on.
Crimbo get away with a kill. Never mind, they're wrapping towards the heavens and will completely bypass Crimbo's position.
Also caught doing so many angles, never had a chance with it. Crimbo's last man standing with USB. He knows he might as well forfeit up his life. LNZ happy to take the concession. Big Clan are against the ropes. Not only is this going to be their last potential gun round, they're going to have to go into it without an op.
Going through a lot of this map without their stars, or what we would consider to be their stars. Now, QB has been doing a fantastic job. I mean, his ancient performance spoke for itself. Him and tabseN are still able to piece together some of the fragging department, but listen, at the end of the day, we talk strategy, we talk tactics. Frags have to follow.
Unfortunately, it's hard to not point out JDC in the meanwhile 3 and 15 right now.
Yeah.
Stark contrast from that Mirage performance that we were hoping and praying in some cases that he would maintain. tabseN again
and again, always finding the kills. Somehow top fragging on the server right now.
He's lost a lot of health. He still needs his other pieces to perform.
Decent enough grenade.
Just damage, but no firm confirmation. Tabson's trying to transition the vents, and he actually gets down in a timely manner. xCloud just cleared this.
He might not expect xCloud to be that deep, though. That's the problem. And Youngster's going to start moving back over. Is he turning around? Who's checking the bombs in his hand? He might get too low. Senpai's ducks away. And xCloud's going to have the backstab. That's what he's waiting for. It's going to be free. Does he have a knife out? No. Surely not. Just make sure he's going to get that one kill. But elsewhere, Tanir walks into Danger's. And Danger's spawn. Hyped. Shuts him down. 2 versus 4 now. And JDC was going to find an open door and an open bomb plant attempt.
Yeah, 20 seconds. He just doesn't have time to pull off a clutch like that. JDC, great patience. Never revealed his hand. Tabson was the one that took first contact. Reinvestigated those secret steps. Found an extra chance, an extra kill because he had fantastic timing. And then he was already the low HP player on the big side. He's the most expendable piece. And Tabson leverages that to great effect. Still signs of life here for Big. Instant deployment of the wall of smokes here on the heroic side. It's not the conventional wall, but it kind of makes use of the one that the Big are throwing on the default. Creates this line to garage that will actually have to keep JDC guessing about whether or not they could permeate past it.
Well, the refreshing of the smokes, I guess the guessing is over, but where is this Big lobby side aggression going into? Tanir's on the other side. Ready and waiting is what I was about to say, but now he's turned around, and before he even has a chance to be stabbed in the back, Tabson's sitting right there like, thanks, I guess. I didn't realize I got a home delivery.
Yeah, keep giving me kills, guys. He is not missing.
I'd like to say the same about xCloud right now, as he's gone and found a second one. Clears out the upper bomb site completely, basically on his own. The bomb will be planted down. He's got no HP to work with, but the angle's good. From AWP that isn't really trained on them. Sunpias is just hiding away for now. xCloud is such a monster. That grenade will finish off, but the bullets could not. No, he's dodged it. Fancy footwork in the house, but it's still down to Sunfire. 12 found. It's a shot to the face, and again, Tabson's attempts are in vain. His triple kill, useless.
Yeah, and xCloud did exactly what he needed to do in that instance. I mean, just put some pressure onto main. You see the forward push there from Tabson, trying to fully clear out lobby, and falls right into the Sunpias AWP, but xCloud being able to double up. I mean, they had so much control that they were willingly ceding in a 5 versus 3, only for it to be completely spun on its head. I mean, you can't ask for more from xCloud in that moment. He's been a part of now two versus 4s. It's actually outrageous.
He's had a series, that's for sure.
And that's a complete gut punch. Tabson's sitting here 23 and 13. There was questions over the player break about can they actually retain JDC and Crimbo? They were doing so much for the squad, and now they're in the struggle bus. None of those stars have been able to show up.
Crimbo needs to right now. That accidental jump up will not matter, but it's a 2 for 2. At the end of the day, the bomb can still be planted. All a matter of committing to it. Retake attempt is going to be without JDC. It comes down to Hyped and QB. They start to go forward. They will find some ground, but again, Flash is
declared their positions. They know they don't have time to delay, but they feel like there's nothing they can do to move past this crossfire. The smoke down on the ground would at least buy some time, but Tanir inside of that very smoke will get the first LNZ to finish it at 13 and 7. Heroic move forward in that lower bracket while Big is eliminated.
And they complete the revenge arc. They get devastated in IEM Katowice. They play in that play-in stage, the last round of play before they actually make it to the main part of IEM Katowice. And now here in the close qualifiers, they get some due revenge. They got embarrassed.